Startups. My name is Joel Rosenberg, Director of Business Development and Strategy for VC Task Force. VC Task Force is an organization where the venture community comes together to address critical issues, provide workshops and other events for the benefit of the venture and entrepreneurial communities. VC Task Force provides access to an extensive ecosystem of VCs, corporate VCs, and angel investors. You may ask questions anytime during the event, and time permitting, they will be answered live after today's interview. It is my pleasure to welcome Gary's Picks host, Gary Fowler. Gary is CEO and co-founder of GSD Venture Studios, an award-winning growth stage AI venture studio. Gary is also co-founder of the award-winning AI startup, Yva.ai, as well as the investment firm DY Investments. Today, Gary will be interviewing special guest, Darlington Onyeagoro, founder and CEO of Aladdin Digital Bank. Aladdin is a digital banking marketplace that provides banking, commerce, and social interactions between users. Darlington is an experienced, practical, and outcome-oriented strategy and product development consultant with over 12 years of retail, microfinance banking, and fintech experience. Darlington has a strong passion for process improvement, fintech startups, software prototyping, and creating practical, innovative solutions to address life's everyday problems. In addition to founding Aladdin, Darlington also founded the Blacklist Nigeria. Take it away, Gary.
That's great. Thanks, Joel. It's great to be here. Thanks, June, and the entire VC Task Force team for making Gary's Picks possible. My name's Gary Fowler, and I am a serial entrepreneur. Love artificial intelligence and quantum computing. Done 17 companies, been involved in 2 unicorns, and it's with great pleasure today that I get to interview Darlington. So, Darlington, I have a question for you. So, tell me about the Blacklist, because that's interesting. What is the Blacklist?
Okay, the Blacklist. Okay, thank you, Gary, for being here. Anyway, first of all, the Blacklist is a central repository for chronic debtors and defaulters in Nigeria. I mean, the fintech space in the last 4 years has really exploded. There are over 300 online lenders, fintech lenders in Nigeria. But the problem is that we have a lot of unscrupulous people who take advantage of the ability to just sit back in your office or your house, and with a mobile device, you can get a soft loan from a company. They now take advantage of that. So they download several apps, okay, and they borrow money from different lenders, and they refuse to pay back, all right? That because there's no visibility between those lenders, there's no operational visibility between the lenders in Nigeria. So they take advantage of that black hole, and they can borrow from 20 lenders at the same time, and they don't get to pay back. So what the Blacklist has done is to bring the community of lenders together, and then we share data among ourselves. All right, so you apply the data of the of chronic debtors that you have, or defaulters, and I supply my own data. We all supply data into one central database, so that with an API call, we can always do a check to see if someone who is making a request on our app has been defaulted, in the community, or has defaulted somebody else, or is owing someone else, and then we can reject that request. So it makes life easy for us to actually start rejecting those chronic debtors and those chronic defaulters in the online community. So that's what the Blacklist does. So once you are blacklisted, you're not able to get a loan until you pay back all your debts to those you are owing in the system. But the Blacklist also does much more than that. It allows you to restructure your loan at your own pace. So because sometimes people get blacklisted, not because they don't want to pay back, but because things go so bad, they lose their jobs and stuff like that. And then they also help them. So they're also building a system that allows you to restructure your loan at your own pace and gradually get out of the blacklist with time. So it also helps in debt freedom and stuff like that. Yeah.
No, that's cool. So I got a question for you. So how in the world do you go from being a mechanical engineer at the Federal University of Technology to where you are today? How did that happen? Did you one day get up and say, oh, I want to try something else? Now I'm going to do this, or what was it like? How did you make that journey?
Actually, I discovered my love for banking in my 4th year. Mechanical engineering in my school, the 5-year course. In my 4th year, I told myself I can't be a mechanical engineer. Why? Because I went for a 6 months industrial training here in Lagos, and I saw that some engineers were being paid peanuts. I mean, they were paying 30,000 naira less than to $50 a month and stuff like that. I was like, no, I can't do this job. So I love good money. I like to make money. I was like, I can't be an engineer going through the furnace and hit $50 a month. I mean, so I decided to do something better. Like I said, I'm going to be a banker. And so I discovered my love for banking as far back as my university days. And straight after I was done, I applied for a banking position in GT Bank in Lagos, and I got the job. And ever since then, I've been a banker, not an engineer. So that's the truth.
I see. So you went from, at least you're honest, Darlington. It's about the money. You know what I mean? You moved, you got to go where the money is, right? So you did that. You went down through, you've done, you were learning and development consulting, product development specialist. And I can see, you've moved up through. What about OPE? What was OPE all about?
Yeah, OPE was born out of Opera, the Norwegian company that owns Opera Mini browser. Most of us know the Opera Mini browser in Africa here because of for data saving purposes. So, but they came up with $100 million fund for Africa. They wanted to launch payments and also micro lending. So this happened when Opera was bought over by from a Chinese consortium in Beijing. They bought over Opera in 2017, and then they launched an African initiative for $100 million. So I was among the 6 directors that started OPE in Africa, and I was the pioneer MD for All Cash, which was the micro lending arm for OPE, essentially. So my job was to start the lending app. And when we started the lending app, actually in 2019, eventually, in 6 months, we had over 1 million downloads, over 1 million customers, and we're disbursing close to $3 million a month, because the hunger for lending in Africa and Nigeria, my country, is actually huge. There's so much potential. People want to borrow money, and they borrow very small amounts of money. We call them nano loans, as low as $10, as low as $20. People people can download your app just to borrow $10 and to help their family in times of emergency. The interest is also very, very, very huge. You have very great margins for such nano loans, as big as 50% per month. Because one, the funds are small, so they don't really calculate the interest, because the margins are also, when you pay them back, they look small. For example, you can get a $5 loan and pay back $6 or $7.5, or you get a 3,000 naira loan in my currency, and then you pay back 4,200. So for them, 1,200 seems small, but when you convert it in interest, it may be as high as 21%, and the tenure is just 7 days. So there was huge potential in the lending space. And I tell you, we've launched 3 other apps before I left Allcash last year during the pandemic. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Most people don't realize there are 206 million people in Nigeria. It's not a small country, right? There's a lot going on, and you got incredible entrepreneurs. And in fintech, I got to tell you, it's like every other company that I talk to from Nigeria. Oh, more than every other company. They're involved in fintech in some way, shape, or form. So it's incredible. Let's go through and tell us a little bit about what you're doing at Aladdin Digital Bank, and what are your goals? What are your objectives? What about the rest of Africa? Because, you got 1.3 billion people on the continent, right? You got an incredible audience. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay, so when I left Allcash, I spent 12 or 13 years of my life doing banking. I wanted to start a bank. And that was one of the goals I had, to start something. I was in love with the fintech space. I didn't want to start a commercial bank. I wanted to start a digital bank. But then when I looked at the existing digital banks we had in my country, Nigeria, there were about 7 of them, I realized that they were doing pretty much the same thing the commercial bank apps were doing. There wasn't so much a differentiating factor. And I chose to do something different. And 2 things, one of the problems I decided to solve was to solve the trust problem in the gig economy. I realized that 65% of the adult population were self-employed in Africa. Africa is a hugely self-employed people, and it's one of the youngest continents we have in the world. A lot of young people, and over 420 million of those young people are unemployed. So we found out that the gig economy is actually boisterous in Africa, but it has not been properly harnessed. There are a lot of broken dreams there, because trust is a very big problem. And that is why e-commerce have not thrived in Africa. E-commerce have not thrived in Nigeria. We do a lot of pay on delivery because people want to see the goods they are paying for before they pay for them. Unlike in the US on Amazon, where you can pay for your goods and then you believe that what you get, what you see, or what you saw on the platform is what you're going to get when it's delivered to your house or to your office. Here in Nigeria, you may see something else and you get something else. So people are very, very conscious of that. The issue of trust. That
Well, listen, Darlington, that happens in the U.S. too. I got to tell you the story. One time on eBay, my ex-wife ordered a book, a medical book, and it said, and the thing weighs like 4 pounds. So the book came, but it was a cookbook. It wasn't a medical book. That was like a $300 book. It was a cookbook, right? So, I mean, so you get like a lot of kooky stuff everywhere. And, as we go down through this digital transformation, it doesn't really matter where you are. I mean, there's people going to be dealing across borders. So whether, in the United States, today, I mean, I order stuff from China, from Japan, from all over the world, right? Wherever the goods are, UK. So, you're right about the trust. And so they want to see it in advance. So what the products they want to see before they purchase them.
Exactly. So a lot of marketplaces that have been designed for the gig economy has not gained so much traction. Most of them end up folding up. We have the likes of OLX in my country, FPT, and I can name up to 10 of them if I have the time. But so what I'm asking myself, I want to launch a bank, but at the same time, the pandemic has changed the way we do things everywhere in the world. A lot of people lost their 9-to-5 jobs. And for the first time, they're thinking about how do I put food on the table? So they begin to look at their side hustle, the other skills that they have. And most of them involuntarily joined the gig economy. Okay, so now the gig economy is huge, but there's no trust. So how do I solve this problem? And I realized that there are two ways of solving the problem. One is blockchain, or I use the blockchain, decentralized ledger. To do that, you can solve that with that. But Africa is ready, but not too ready. Not everybody understands blockchain right now. But in the near future, probably we are going to get there. But Africans still trust their bank, all right, because the banks are heavily regulated. Like in my country, we have banks, we have microfinance banks, up to 600 of them, and they're heavily regulated. So we trust our banks, all right, but we don't trust commerce, okay? So I felt if I should build a bank that can seamlessly, all right, harness the potentials of commerce or a marketplace, I may be able to solve that problem. And that's what we have been doing in the last 90 to 120 days, about 6 months, trying to activate if that's going to work. And it has worked. We have over 26,000 customers piloting that system where we have traditional banking and we have a marketplace built on top of that traditional banking. Now, the problem is that pandemic has changed our way of life, but banking have remained unperturbed. They've remained largely unchanged because they see every one of us as account numbers. Or like you're an account number, Gary, I'm an account number. Yeah. We only money among ourselves. But in Aladdin, we are trying to humanize all the account numbers. So when you download the Aladdin app today, you have a unique page where you can sell your product and services. You can sell your skills. I can search for you, Gary. I can interact with you. I can chat with you. I can follow your progress on the platform. And when you post the goods or services, I can patronize you. So we're creating meaningful social and commercial interactions, on the bank's platform using data. Because we have data on you, the trust element increases because the bank has data on every single customer. And every customer gone through the KYC, know your customer process, all right? So we'll have the data on your where you stay, we'll have data on your banking statement, how you lend, how you pay your bills. We'll have tons of data on you. And with that, we're developing a dynamic scoring system that helps interaction on the platform. So the platform is largely safe, all right? And coupled with the escrow account system that ensures that money only exchanges hands when goods and services are delivered, then voila, you find that you have a safer platform. And that is what Aladdin is trying to do. So we're bringing banking 2.0 to Africa. We're changing the way banking is doing, while at the same time supporting the gig economy in Africa, essentially. Yeah.
No, that's great. I mean, it's kind of like giving the UL stamp of approval, UL Underwriters Lab, you're basically giving them a trusted network to be able to do the transaction. And if they don't behave, you note it. So, I mean, I think it's great. And so what are your goals? What's going to happen over the next 2 years, 3 years? What's going to happen with Aladdin Bank? And what about the rest of Africa?
So we have big plans for the rest of Africa. Like I said, Nigeria is like a microcosm of Africa, and Nigeria is the most populous Black country in the world. So whatever happens in Nigeria typically happens in West Africa and spills over to East Africa and some other African countries. So I see that Nigeria as the lab where we test our ideas and then we begin to ship them to other African countries. And guess what? There are a lot of APIs coming out now. For example, like Money Hash, that allows you to actually deploy to those African companies very, very fast because they're able to aggregate payment APIs that makes it easy for us to actually launch into the EMEA region, launch into African countries with a single API. So it's easy for us in the next 2 to 3 years to begin to deploy these same ideas and these same visions to other African countries. We're going to be helping trade, what they call inter-African trade, all right, on using e-commerce. And for the first time, e-commerce is going to work the way it's supposed to work, based on trust, based on centralized APIs, and based on regulated banking infrastructure across Africa. So that's the vision we have for
No,
e-commerce.
I got to tell you, Darlington, I like it. I'll tell you my own, my own situation recently. I ordered a pair of binoculars from Amazon, from a Chinese group. And what did I get? I was supposed to get these Audubon like bird ready. So for looking at birds, 10 by 42 binoculars, I get a pair of toy binoculars.
Wow.
And so I get the toy binoculars and I went back and I went to Amazon. I suspect most of the people don't do it because they felt foolish. But I went back and they said, "Oh, we made a mistake." It's like, come on, you didn't make a mistake. A 2-cent pair of binoculars, of 50 cents. I don't know, for kids. They would like be in a dollar store, half price kind of thing. But I like what you're doing is right, because it is about trust, right? And when you start to do it on a global basis, you got to make sure that you are dealing with, when you're dealing with people for all over the world, that you've got a network, you're going to get the right product at the right place at the right time. I think it's great, actually, because you're basically encapsulating and making it more secure than it is. Doesn't matter what e-commerce site you're on. It matters whether or not you think you're going to get what you paid for.
Exactly. That's what we're trying to prioritize with the platform. And with data, you can do a lot when it comes to the marketplace. You can do demand aggregation. I mean, one of the biggest platforms in China today is Pinduoduo that aggregates demand across different people in China to reduce the price of goods and services. So when you have millions of people on the platform, you can easily see when one particular product is being demanded 10,000 times, within the hour, and the price of that can be negotiated down so that for the benefit of all. All right, so you can do demand aggregation to reduce prices of goods and services on the platform based on data, looking at data across the board. So there's a whole lot of benefits we're going to bring. But beyond that, for the gig worker too, because they've lost their 9-to-5 jobs, they also lost the privileges of the employer benefits like health insurance, accident insurance and life insurance. So because we're looking at the holistic structure for the gig worker, we're also looking at partnering with the necessary platforms to provide them with the employer benefits they lose when they lose their job. So our whole vision is to empower the gig worker in Africa to ensure that they enjoy all the benefits they would have gotten if they were in a 9-to-5 job. That's what we do, and that's what we plan to do. And we've got some traction in the last 90 days. We've done about $1.5 million worth of transaction on the platform. We've got over 26,000 to 27,000 customers so far, and we've lent to over $70,000 to over 8,000 customers in our pilot phase for lending, trying to test our lending system. And because we know from my experience in Okash, you can do up to $5 million, $3 million volume of disbursement in a single month once you really start business. And that's what we're looking for, a $5 million seed round, to take the business to the next level, because we are building this business and it's a two-side coin, right? There's a traditional banking on one side, underpinned by the marketplace on the other side. So we did the $5 million seed round to actually build up this stuff and get a lot of guys who are good in machine learning, who are good with artificial intelligence, to use data because this is more of a data-driven system. All right, to build trust, you need data, tons of data. Like for the first time, we want to make data work for Africans. Our banking system, they have tons of data. Some of us have been banking with our bank for 20 years, and the bank has not made that data work for me. It doesn't know when I need a loan. It doesn't know when I have excess liquidity in my account, and then nudge me through an investment process or suggest some investment to me. Data has not worked for me, in the banking system. So for the first time, we're making data work for the average African. The more data we have about you, the more we're able to solve your problem, the more we're able to bring other partners together to see if we can meet your needs. And we're making data work. And that's why we need to get more engineers on board, Aladdin, and to make data work for Africans, essentially.
Yeah, so you're raising $5 million seed round right now. So investors out there that are listening to my show, this is a great opportunity. I mean, think about it. A trusted network in one of the fastest growing economies in the world and the largest country in Africa. So great opportunity to be able to invest and take advantage of this incredible growth opportunity. Now that's fantastic. And how do people get a hold of you? What's the best way to get a hold of you if they're interested?
Yeah, they can get me via the email. My email is quite wonderful. My personal email is celebritybanker@gmail.com. Celebrity banker. So I'm the number one celebrity banker in the world. So call me celebritybanker@gmail.com or darlington@aladdin.ng. So I have two emails, celebritybanker@gmail.com or darlington@aladdin.ng. My numbers are 080-325-32634. I mean, you can 080-325-32634. You can get a hold of me via any of those means.
No, that's great. And so what's happening in the rest of Africa right now, Darlington, just in the startup, going back to just the general feeling in the startup community? I know Nigeria is taking off with artificial intelligence and fintech. What's happening in the rest of Africa on the continent? What's your feeling?
There's a whole lot. For example, the Egyptian fintech space is also blowing up. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of financing going to Egypt because they're also close to the EMA region, so they get a lot of funding from that side. And what they do also impacts those regions. I just mentioned Money Hash that got pre-money evaluation funding because they're actually building those what they call like a giant API that controls payments across all those regions. You know what I mean? That particular place is actually blowing up. And my country, Nigeria, too. I can tell you that a lot of fintechs have got funding this year. We have the likes of Flutterwave that became a unicorn. Earlier this year, we have the likes of Abzone. Abzone have empowered the microfinance banks for years. They got a $10 million funding, Series A. We have the likes of Mono and Okra. These are guys that they are just like the Plaid of Africa, where they're able to connect your bank account to other apps at the same time. You know, so they got funding in the SINA. In the SINA has to do with statement analysis. For the first time, we can analyze your bank statement in seconds. I mean, these are great guys, great fintechs, lovely fintechs, and they all got it funding. And we believe that Aladdin is the next in line for a funding. Because if you look at our slide, I wish I could share my slide with you. We have incorporated almost all these guys into the Aladdin platform. So we're in partnership with Flutterwave, Paystack, Mono, Okra in the scene now, because we're building a lot of stuff. We're building the lending arm, we're building the investment arm of Aladdin, we're building the marketplace. So we're actually in partnership with a lot of APIs, that make our system unique and make our system actually work. And that's why I would say we're in line for the next $5 million funding. I mean, I believe every investor out there, come and work with us. Let's make something unique in Africa. We're building banking 2.0. We're making data work for Africa. We're restoring trust in the commerce place in Africa, and you're going to make a lot of money. We have about 15 income streams already identified from the lending side alone. The APR is as high as almost 350% per annum. You can't get that in the US or in the Europe. You can only get that in Nigeria and Africa. So, and that's why a lot of Chinese investors are running to Nigeria with their portfolio of $10 million, $20 million, and they're going home very, very rich. I work for some of them. I can tell you they are very, very rich now. So at the same time, I want to be rich like them, and I also want you to be rich. So let's come to Africa and let's make money together.
I like that. You know what I mean? At least you're honest. Like I said, if you want to show your slide, you can show your slide. Put the slide up and show people what's happening. If you got it, do you have it handy?
I have it handy, but you need to disable. I mean, you have to enable me to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to enable me to that. Somebody has to enable me.
Yeah, June, can you open it up so we can share the slide? Okay. Try it now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so these are the slides. So like I say, Aladdin here talks about bank your hustle. Like we said, we are supporting the gig economy in Africa. So people are not looking at their side hustle to put food on their table, and we're here to support you, provide you 360-degree support.
Darlington, we got like 5 minutes, so make sure that you're concise, okay?
Okay, exactly. So essentially, most of the platforms built for the gig economy in Africa have not gained traction because they have not been able to solve the basic problem that plague the system, which is the trust problem, all right? So we use data, we solve that problem using bank data collected on our customers to minimize fraud and increase trust as they interact on our platform. All right, so we ensure that we provide all kinds of 360-degree benefits. I like to use this slide to talk about the benefits we provide for our gig workers. You see what they call employer benefits like insurance, like pension, mortgage. We give them investment benefits when they have excess liquidity in their bank account. We give them loans, bridge financing when they are broke and they need to actually, they have emergency loans, and also verify every single user on the platform using bank grade KYC system. And they will have a marketplace for them to sell their tools or to sell their services. So our competitors don't have all this, but we do all this for the gig economy in Africa. All right, as the case may be. Like you see, like I was trying to mention, there are a lot of opportunities in Africa. Over 420 million people are unemployed in Africa. And even those who are employed are self-employed. So that makes this place a meritorious platform and business for you in Africa. The TAM is about $800 billion. The SAM is about $181 billion. And the sum is about $3 billion in the next 18 months. I don't want to go into this. I have only 5 minutes. Like I mentioned, we have about 15 income streams. And we have income from loans, we have income from payments. We're going to give our customers cards, virtual cards and physical cards. Anytime they swipe the POS, we'll make money. Anytime they use the ATM, we'll make money. All right, and stuff like that. We'll have the escrow account system. Whenever there's a trade on the marketplace, we'll make money. We'll make money from the escrow account system we're going to put in place. We'll have employer benefits. We'll make money from our partnerships or in that space. So there are about 15 solid income streams. So we are bound to be profitable, and we'll call on you to come on board to partner with us. Our go-to-market strategy is quite straightforward. We have an app already in place in Play Store with over 26,000 downloads. And then we're attracting customers via lending. And then we have the savings system, and then we'll move on. So I don't want to rush that. We have our team. I mean, the slides are there. And this is what we want to do with the seed investment we're looking for. Half of it is going to go to on lending. I told you that there's a voracious appetite for lending in Nigeria. So half of that amount is going to use to generate a lot of revenue and profit for you and I, the investor, because half of it is going to be deployed into the lending space, while the remaining half will be used to expand the business as it is today and take the business to the next level. All right, so that's what we're looking for, $5 million seed investment. Our competitors have already raised about $36 million, which is Kuda. Kuda have raised about $6 million in Series A. I mean, it's just about a year old. And because of that, I'll tell you that investors have confidence in this space. There's so much confidence in digital banking in Africa and Nigeria, and investors are actually pouring more funds into the fintech space. And just come along, you won't regret it. I mean, the market is huge. 206 million people in Nigeria, 1.3 billion people in Africa, 460 million bank accounts in the next 2 years. It's something that you cannot regret. The market is wide, and we're bringing something new that people have not done in a very long time. And I want you to come on board also and be with us. Thank you. Thank you so much.
No, that's great. Thank you very much, Darlington, for doing that on the spot. That's great. So I want to, we're coming to the top of the hour now, and I just want to thank you for taking time out of your business schedule, Darlington. As you know, at GSD, we're very supportive and VC Task Force of African startups, and believe there's incredible potential where we can make a dent in the universe and change the world. So, in fact, my partner will be back down in Lagos in the very near term. So we believe that there's incredible opportunity. I love what you're doing. I like having this trusted network, because that's what it's all about. And of course, as you said, getting rich is not a bad thing. As long as it's helping people to make their lives better. And I think that you're doing a wonderful job with it. So thank you very much for coming on the show. My name's Gary Fowler, and I'm your host. Thank you to Joel, June, and the entire VC Task Force team for making Gary's Picks possible. We are in Silicon Valley, from Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is a hub to the rest of the world. The valuations tend to be higher. The opportunities happen to be wider, and we can all work together to take it out. So thank you very much. And to you, Joel.
Excellent. Thank you both, Darlington. What you're doing there is really fantastic. And this, the messaging, the interview today was very timely, obviously, for our audience. It's wonderful. So I want to thank you again, Gary, Darlington, June, VC Task Force, and everybody else. Everybody, we'll see you back here in 2 weeks for the next edition of Gary's Picks. Look forward to it.
Thank you very much. Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.
Yep, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.